one of my criticisms of a lot of places of higher education, don't take this the wrong way, is I always say universities have departments, but the world doesn't. Last I checked, there's not this channel or funnel called politics versus economics versus this or that. So more interdisciplinary courses, more programs that are cross-cutting. I mean, if you're going to become an expert on climate, you've got to understand the science. Yeah, I get that, but you've also got to understand the economics. I mean, you need an informed view on carbon taxes, on various other market schemes. You need to understand the politics. You need to understand something about negotiations and international relations. You need to understand something about technology, about carbon capture, and what's the possibility for that, about maybe geoengineering, both the scientific as well as the political dimensions of that. And we could say that about anything else, whether it's preparing for future pandemics or any number of or cyberspace. And I'm glad you raised it, because let me just tell you one of the problems I find. I am really interested in thinking about, in the field, how do we think creatively about cyberspace? So just recently with the meeting in Geneva between President Biden and Vladimir Putin, the biggest issue of the meeting was not nuclear weapons, was not the Middle East, but was cyberspace. And the fact that it's a largely ungoverned, unregulated space. So the question is, what do we want to see there? What's our definition of success? How might we then get there? Well, one of the problems is there's so few people in this country who have the background to help answer that question. We have some people who really understand the technology, but they don't understand the first thing about diplomacy or negotiations. Or others might understand negotiation theory, but not the technology, or don't understand the economics or the legal issues. And what we need then are some people. I can bring all the separate experts into the room. That's second best. First best would be some individuals who would internalize some of the various considerations and could produce fairly organic, comprehensive analysis, or suggest prescriptions, recommendations that take into account competing considerations. And that is not something that the departments by definition can do. So while I understand, trust me, I understand the importance of getting grounding in a discipline. I'm a great believer in that. I believe there's got to be greater allowance to bring in these cross-cutting considerations, because again, virtually nothing is solved in these kind of stovepipes. It's a beginning and it's a grounding, but it can't be ultimately it can't carry the lion's share of the analytical burden.